All right. Hey, y'all in the chat. How are you? All right. I know more people will come pouring in, especially once we get started. All right. Okay.
Gonna learn niggas disrespect.
Hey,
Hola.
Z.
What's up, black people?
Hey, we were just talking about you two.
Oh, look. Hey, y'all stop that blasphemy talking about me like that.
All right. All right. Nicole had to step away for a brief moment.
Okay.
Right back soon.
I'm sitting in here doing shameless self-promotion, listening to myself.
Okay.
Brother got to do that sometime. He got to remember, hey, you know what? I do music too sometimes. What's up with y'all, man?
Well,
I'm doing good. I'm good.
I'm doing good too. I mean, are you ready for that hurricane that's coming?
Man, I've been ready. Look, I ain't even scared. Cause
I'm back.
White people, Nicole,
Hey.
White people to mess the planet up so much that I've been waiting for something like this to happen, a hurricane or something like that. But it don't never hit the hood.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go right to Berry Farms or some of the old projects. Nah, don't go to the old projects that they gentrifying, because God is gonna rage his wrath on them Peckerwoods.
I know, right? The hood ain't safe no more.
The hood ain't the hood no more.
See where they gentrified? That shit getting blown off the map. It's about to look like it looked before they gentrified.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But you know, I lived through Sandy a couple of years back, and that was only a category 1, and that thing did a lot of damage to New Jersey and New York around that area. So, and that one's coming at y'all at a 4. So, I mean,
it ain't nothing ready for that. I mean, seriously, we had that earthquake. You remember that earthquake, Taurean?
Yeah,
I remember that.
Shit still fucked up. They look. Think about it. They had to put a skirt on the Capitol in the White House. They had to put a metal skirt on the Capitol in the White House because, you know, back in the day when the slaves built it, it wasn't no earthquake.
Yeah. 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 I mean, things have changed a lot. But let's get on topic, y'all.
Let's do it.
I'm ready.
All right. We're going to start with Sister Nicole because, you know, she's all up on the Cosby thing.
Yes, she is.
And we know he is coming, I think in the next 2 weeks, he's getting ready to go back to court.
Correct.
So,
correct.
Nicole, you said they are digging up some more old ass bitches.
Yeah.
Trying to accuse him. So get us caught up on this.
So basically, Bill Cosby is supposed to be sentenced the 24th and the 25th. So they want to make this into a 2-day extravaganza of lynching him, just nailing him to the cross, as I told you earlier. And this DA, this corrupt devil, Kevin Steele, he wants to bring in other women who were not even a part of the second trial. So the same women who've gone out on CNN with Don Lemon and, you know, all over the media changing their stories and just being liars, okay, for 15 minutes of fame. They want to do this now. So now they're going to parade all these women in. I don't know how many this judge is going to allow, but it's disgusting. It's you guys already know how I feel about it. What was the latest I've heard is that Miss Camille Cosby, she is still fighting to get the judge removed. That's what I heard today. And also YC News reported that Steele and his dad apparently, while the trial was going on, was emailing each other, and he's checking in and Steele and his father, they were so thankful and grateful that Cosby was convicted. And I'm sitting up here saying he's not supposed to be talking about the trial. So this is coming out too now. But we know they're corrupt. That's what they do. They break the rules, they change the rules, and this is what we're dealing with now.
Well, Nicole, I can tell you one thing. I grew up in Pennsylvania, and that is a racist ass state.
Oh, yeah.
Just the whole legal system. That's why they call Pennsylvania the Alabama of the North. There is so much corruption and racism, and, you know, even through the legal system. You know how bad it is? I went over to, it was one of those old Microsoft events. This was probably like 10 years ago. And we were trying to get out of the parking garage. So, you know, there were several cars ahead of us. And it was a cop car behind me. And, you know, so we're all trying to wait because, you know, you got to pay going out of the parking garage.
Right.
Well, everybody's paying and it's just taking a while. You know how it can take a while sometimes, especially when there's a lot of people leaving at the same time. This cop behind me gets out of his car and he yells at everybody, "Get the fuck out of the way." And I was like, you know, and I said, that's why you motherfuckers get shot.
Yep.
You know, but this is what this cop did to everybody. He got out all the way out the car. Hurry the fuck up.
Wow.
White cop. You know,
trash.
Drive, yeah. Right. And I was like, yeah, I said, that's why somebody gonna come along and pump a bullet in your ass and nobody's gonna care. But that's how they are in Pennsylvania. That's how they are.
And I didn't realize they were, you know, I realized racism and white supremacy is all over this nation, but I didn't realize how deep it was there until I went there and saw it for myself. I went to the trial and saw it for myself. I saw, you know, the coffee shop. I've talked about that right across the street from the courthouse and how they were putting, in my opinion, propaganda coffee sleeves saying we believe the victims, you know, and what if the jurors go in there? So it was set up from day one. I mean, they were ready for Cosby since day one. And I even was told that if they didn't convict him this time, they said Steele wasn't going to stop until he was convicted. So that lets you know this is the devil we're dealing with.
Yeah.
This is it right in your face, and seeing it up close and seeing someone like him on trial, it gave me chills, because I'm like, if they're doing that to Bill Cosby, none of us have a chance in hell. None of us.
Nicole, I didn't do these bitches and slide. I didn't put anything in the bitches' drinks. They tried to say that I'm Bill Cosby, but I'm not Bill Cosby, because if I would have done that, why wouldn't I do that to Claire or Denise? Oh, thank you for your coverage, for being on my side. You're part of the community that I love. You pull your pants up and you do the right thing. You don't eat fried chicken in the morning. No.
Well, you know, Lisa Bonet is a tragic mulatto.
Yeah. It's insane.
She didn't even try to side with Cosby.
No.
Because of career look, the only people that ain't side with Cosby, let me go and put this shit on blast. Anybody that says something about Cosby is either a bootlicking coon with no career or a has-been with no career. Let's see. Joseph C. What's his name? Exactly. Has been. No career. Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. Bill Cosby, I'm sick. Oh, Lord. Bill, you coon ass nigga. Ain't nobody buy that flop ass book. And don't nobody want to hear your motherfucking cameo appearance ass opinion. Then Come on, Lisa Bonet. The biggest thing you did was got cheated on by Lenny Kravitz, and then he wrote "It Ain't Over Till It's Over," none of which has anything to do with you. So we're way to get hot again. Let's throw Bill under the bus. My fuck all. The only people with careers, the people with careers that's really doing something. Notice all of them defended Bill.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm just saying. It don't look right to me. I still don't believe Bill Cosby drugged no white women.
Well, neither do I. I don't. We know the history of white women in this country and rape. You know, they are notorious for lying without flinching. You know, they'll lie and put all kinds of men in jail that never touched their asses. I mean, that's historical when it comes down to the white woman.
Exactly.
Shit, they did it a few months ago, didn't they? They ain't just doing the Bill, they doing it to every poor black man walking around too. What make you think Bill Cosby any different?
Right.
Yep.
That's right. That is right. So Nicole, what do you think is going to happen? I mean,
you know, that's been the big elephant in the room. Do you guys think they're going to really sentence this 81-year-old? He can't even see. You know, are they really going to send this man to jail? And I say, if they do send him to jail, I think it's going to be a backlash. Of course, they're going to be the same devils and coons and buffoons who believe it, and they're going to celebrate it. But I think there's going to be a huge backlash to it because it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good at all. And retired judges have even said that, you know, with Cosby's background, what he's done, the money he's donated, his age, they just need to leave him at home until this is figured out. Even retired judges are coming out saying this. Defense lawyers are coming out and saying that Bill Cosby was railroaded. I mean, folks are saying this was a sham.
Right. Thank you, Go Layla. Yeah, you know what? I just don't see how this whole thing had moved forward in the first place. How the hell do you come forward whining about being sexually molested from the damn 60s?
Yeah.
I just don't understand that. I don't understand how this whole thing was allowed to move forward in the first place.
Easily. Politics. The judge, O'Neill, apparently he had beef with the prior DA, Bruce Castor. So they got something going on. Then you have Steele, who is the DA now. He ran his entire platform on bringing down Bill Cosby. So you have all of this in the mix. You got folks, politics or politricks. You got the racism. You got these feminists. You got these movements. You got all of this like one big stew of bullshit. And this is where we're at now. It's just insane when you really sit back and think about it. And I know we have folks in the community who have their issues and feelings about Cosby, but at the end of the day, I can't sit back and just watch this happen and not say nothing, especially when I saw it with my own two eyes. It disturbed me. You know, it really disturbed me being in court, knowing that this is what your justice system can do to you, along with the media that can just destroy you overnight. And it's frightening to think about. And I know some folks are probably on my channel are tired of hearing about it, but I'm like, no, I seen an injustice. I cannot sit back and not say anything. I can't.
Well, I personally enjoy your Bill Cosby commentaries. Like you've remained consistent with this since it began. I always say that each of us have something that we really are passionate about talking about on our channels, and we stay consistent with it. When I was doing it and like really kicking everything off, it was talking about the opioids. Then Lisa pretty much took the handle from there. You were, focused more so on Bill Cosby, and still all like we each find something that we ride that wave until the wheels fall off, and then even on top of that, we're still riding on the rims.
Right.
Like whatever it is that we feel that we're passionate about, talking about. And then on top of that, your audience can feel it too. Like, it may be some topics we talk about, we speak in a certain tone, but when you talk about Bill Cosby, your tone changes because you can tell that's what you really want to talk about.
Yeah, because I just see the fuckery.
and also too with the length of the videos. Like I noticed that your Bill Cosby videos have a lot of length to them.
Yes,
like time wise.
Yeah, because I want you guys to just to see what I saw. There were some people when I went to the trial, they just randomly came up to me. They're like, "Hey, you're Nicole, right? From Nicole's View. You told me to come down here." I had a few people who saw my channel and actually wanted to come to the trial. So we just don't see the effect we can have, and we can change things, no matter what the topic is. We can change the world. We're that powerful enough, and that's why they want our channel shut down. That's why you have trolls coming on here trying to do whatever they can do to attack us, but it ain't gonna work because we just gonna keep creating more channels until we have our own platform. Right. So I thank you guys for supporting my channel, supporting me, and just in this journey, because it's not right what they're doing. It's not right.
No, and you know what, Nicole? When I used to live over in Pennsylvania, there was a lot of the racism was blatant. I don't know if anybody remember Frank Rizzo. Frank Rizzo used to be Italian mayor.
I did a video about him. I did a video about him that's still up, believe it or not. Hey, but go figure. I did a video that's still up.
Frank Rizzo was the mayor of Philadelphia.
Yep. And he did that to that movement. He oversaw what happened to Mumia Abu Jamal. Anything doing with shutting down blacks, fighting for civil rights, Frank Rizzo had something to do with it. He stripped black people butt naked and took a picture of it and put it in the newspaper. Yeah. And they was just a form of the Black Panther Party. Wow. And y'all hit the like button. There's 217 people watching. I see 52 likes. By my calculations, that's 63 haters. 165 haters. We got 165 haters in here. 3 of y'all did the dislike. Come on, 165 of y'all hate. And y'all look up Frank Rizzo. Y'all, if y'all too lazy to figure out about Frank Rizzo, go look at Coffee Coonery, one of my old videos about them boys in Philadelphia cooning and how, white supremacy done ran through every arm of the system. Philadelphia.
Then this mayor didn't even try to hide his racism. He was blatant. He didn't give a damn about who saw it. He didn't care. And the police were brutal to the black community back then. I used to watch the paddy wagons because they had those big paddy wagons back then. And they would always be in the black neighborhood. And when they would arrest, they would literally grab like 10 black men at one time and just pack them into the back of the paddy wagon. And sometimes they didn't even, let's say people were just standing there. They weren't involved in nothing. They were just standing there. They would just snatch them and drag them and throw them in the back of the paddy wagon too. It didn't matter if you didn't do nothing. How nasty he was to the black community. Yeah, LVZ got a picture of him. That's how nasty he was to the black community. Now that is an example of your mayor. You can imagine the rest of the judicial system and how they are.
Yep.
It's always been I knew they were going to go after Cosby because I know how brutal they are towards blacks. And back in, I think this was like the 90s, there was a ring of 3 cops, Nicole, 3 cops. For 10 years. They got away with planting guns, planting drugs, on primarily black and Hispanics. This went on for 10 years. 10 years.
Wow.
And finally, they got busted. They had to let 1,100 black guys and Hispanics out of jail. 1,100.
Hey, here go the picture, y'all. Here go the picture, chat room. Look at these brothers.
Yeah, he
Wow.
stripped black women down and then have the pictures posted in the papers.
You see what he did? He stripped them. They was Black Panthers.
Yeah. And Nicole, the thing is, you would think this would go on in the South, right?
Right.
It's
Up in the
Philadelphia.
North. Okay, this is why when they try to tell me, oh, it was just bad in the South, I know better. I grew up in the North. I saw this kind of stuff growing up.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, and remember, he started off as chief of police and moved up the mayor for 30 years. They was underneath Rizzo for years. Years they was underneath of Rizzo last. And he was a dirty, notorious cop, would lie, beat, kill, steal, whatever he needed to do.
And he had ties with the mob in Philly. The Philadelphia Italian mob, he had ties with them too.
And you gotta understand, like Lisa said, you know, I go through Pittsburgh and you'll see Confederate flags up there. And you be like, no, you stupid motherfuckers didn't fight on that side, right?
Yeah.
And they try to lie and say that's part of Southern heritage. Last time I checked, PA is not in the South.
No.
But then again, they claim to have high IQ, so they probably don't know their directions. They're up and down, north and south.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm telling you, this trial, Lisa, it you know, I don't want to sound like I was totally naive to just how racist it was, but when I was hanging with Mustafa Majid, he's part of the Nation of Islam and he's known Cosby and been friends with him for years. Oh, he was giving me the breakdown. He was like, he said Cosby, he was telling me, he told Cosby, he was like, man, he said, out of all counties, why would you have to get in trouble here? He was like, they'll throw a nigga in jail just for jaywalking.
Yes, they will. Well, hey, B Miles 84, what's up?
So
yeah, I you know, like I said, Nicole, I know Pennsylvania. I know what those folks are like. I know what the white population is like. And like I said, it's a reason why they call Pennsylvania the Alabama of the North. For that.
This is new to me.
Right.
Wow.
That's why I said they won't think nothing of throwing Bill Cosby headfirst into prison.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying same thing, Lisa. I think Bill about to go down. I think white folks is gonna put Bill Cosby in jail, and that's how they're gonna kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
They want him gone. It's sad, but it is. I really believe they want Bill Cosby gone. They want him gone. Like no more living on this planet. They want him gone.
Right. And do you guys feel that one of the reasons why I feel like he was attacked too, one of the many reasons, do you guys feel like with the new agenda, like, you know, making sure the family unit is no longer, you know what I'm saying? Like he represented that in a sense, you know, like, you know, with the Cosby Show and what it represented to Black people.
Exactly, because see, that vision of being able to point to Black positivity or Black excellence and showing another side of it, a way to dirty that up, a way to tarnish that, or tarnish the man that gave you that, to make it more of what they used to call a fairy tale.
Yeah. And Nicole, I just saw an article today in the paper, and it said Bill Cosby is responsible for Jeffrey Owens working at Trader Joe's.
You see these devils? You see what these devils do?
Okay, you know, because he got cut off from the royalty checks when they took Cosby's show off, but it's amazing how they took Cosby off, but all of these other pedophile shows are still on.
Exactly.
I will never forget the day that I was flipping through the networks and I landed on the Up channel and I saw Seventh Heaven in the lineup.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was after Stephen Collins admitted to what he did.
See?
Yeah, I know. And I watched the interview where he admitted it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I watched that too. And Yeah, and his wife put it out there. It wasn't like it was just some random leaker. His wife put that noise out on. That's how you know that she wanted to get that devil up out the house too.
Yep. Yep. And they have the audacity to blame Cosby when these devils are the one that created all of this in the media. They're all in on it.
You want to know what it is too? They not only want to kill like Cosby, in physical life, but they want to kill his legacy as well. So that's why they had to, in the last few years, dirty it up. So when he dies, the last thing people will remember him is this case right here and not what happened before that. See, the thing is, this is why I would say that people like, and I'm gonna use him as an example because it's a perfect example. People like Michael Jackson. We all know he died back in 2009. He had multiple scandals throughout his life, but none bigger than them two child molestation scandals. The one back in the early 90s, and of course the one in 2005, which they were hoping would be the one that would really take him down, but didn't. But see, the thing is, Michael Jackson has such a powerful fan base, and all these lies started to come out, and the truth became revealed, unfortunately, after he passed, that his legacy is still stronger. It's probably more stronger today with him deceased than it was ever when he was alive. And they don't want that to happen again with Bill Cosby.
Exactly.
See, the thing is, when they kill like a prominent black figure, they want their legacy to be as filthy as possible. So when people look back on it years from now, they can say, oh, we can only remember them from this because that's what the media is going to talk about the most.
Exactly. Absolutely. 100%. You hit it right on the nail, Taurean. And I feel like this is going to be the new thing throughout the years. We're going to continue to see this after Bill Cosby. Who's next? And that's what a lot of people should be looking at.
Oh, yeah.
This is just going to continue.
Thank you, Sugar and Spice. Yeah, and the thing is, we already know their next target is going to be a black man. Now
it's just a matter of who.
Yeah. Now look at what Les Mouvez did. I mean, look at him. They're not even talking about going after him. And six more women came forward. And that's why they made him that offer to leave CVS for $100 million. And Jen did not make her appearance on the show today.
Yeah. Oh, she's taking a break.
She's out sick.
No. She talked all that shit about Camille Cosby.
Exactly.
Bill. And now look at what's happening to her. And what did she do? She came out and said, oh, I'm not leaving my husband.
Right.
And now
what is she thinking? Why is she a partisan to what's going on?
But yeah. Well, see, white women have been doing that forever. Like they'll come to black women and tell you should leave your man and you shouldn't take this off of your man. And then while she's telling you that, she's going home and submitting to her husband. See, you know, always played that trickery on us. And Julie Chen is no different. Now she's telling Camille to leave Bill, but what is she doing? Oh no, I'm not leaving Les. Oh, I'm not leaving.
Leaving this lap of luxury? Are you kidding me?
Well, actually, Lisa, I don't know if you saw the most recent video that I did, and actually Nicole did the video as well. And I don't know, Nicole, if you probably touched it on that point or not, but if he gives a settlement to these women that came out, he's not going to get that $100 million severance because the money is going to come from that. But
you know what, Taurean? Janet needs to sue him.
Most definitely for defamation of character.
Yeah, and he blocked her album sales and did everything he could to undermine her, and she should go after all of the people that cooperated and went along with it too.
When I tell you, I was shocked, but I wasn't shocked. It was just, I guess, putting a face to it.
Exactly.
Because all these people known it, but we just needed a face.
Right.
Exactly. We never knew who was behind it. When I found that out, I said, I definitely got to bring this story to my subscribers, and notice that this story right here did not really get into mainstream media. It really didn't get past the internet.
Right.
Could you imagine if mainstream media actually put it out there that it was because of him why Janet Jackson's career ended up dwindling after 2004?
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, she literally had to start from scratch. And we're talking about a woman that comes from a musical dynasty. Had to start over. Like, who had to start over like she was just some random. And I actually worked at the Capital One Arena in DC, which used to be the Verizon Center. Yeah. And I saw her on her concert last year. For a woman at the time who was 51, she still got it.
Yeah. Yep.
You know this, Nicole, because I think because you went. Yeah.
I seen her twice. I seen her when she came to Austin this year too, and she didn't. And it was hot as hell too, but she didn't skip a beat. She was still up there. I said, "Hey, I gotta give it to you, sister. In this hot, humid heat, and you up here dancing with all these clothes on, I gotta give it to you." She's she's trying. She's trying to, bring it back. But I still feel like Les, he still has the power. He still can control stuff from behind the scenes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They still got the power. They want to claim folks like Bill Cosby got the power. Well, if he had the power, we wouldn't be dealing with this. Now, would we?
No, we wouldn't. Well, no.
And Les Moonves has such a wicked looking face. Like, every picture I've seen of him, he looks like Emperor Palpatine from Star Wars.
Yeah, but here's the difference, y'all. Now, when those women came out on Bill Cosby, didn't we do all kinds of interviews with them?
Yep.
Oh, they interviewed this woman. They interviewed this one. Oh, he did something to her back in the 70s. And it was 1964. He did something to this one, right?
Niggas couldn't even rape in 1964. Right. How could you rape in 19? You couldn't even look at a white woman in 1964. Bill Cosby couldn't even talk on a TV show in 1964. Right. Or I Spy, that bomb ain't had no words. He just grunted. Over there.
Right. But you notice they're not talking to none of Les Moonves's victims. How come we didn't see none of Harvey Weinstein's victims being interviewed?
Or better yet, how come we didn't get a New Yorker cover with all the victims on the cover, sitting in the chair looking sad?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You see the difference here?
Yep. It was overkill the way they did it. Overkill. They did this on purpose. This was a mission for them. It was overkill. Like I've said before, they learned from O.J. Simpson. They learned from Michael Jackson. It's like, okay, when we go after the next one, we have got to just lynch them to, man, they treated Bill like he was Nat Turner. Okay. And I'm not saying that literally, but you know what I'm saying? Just how they drug him for years, these last few years through the mud. It's like, oh, we gonna get him.
Hi, Phil from the Advice Show.
Oh, what's up, Phil?
Yeah.
Nice of you to drop by.
Brother Phil. I just seen that video Phil did earlier about that coon cop. That's why I had to do my video.
Oh my God, we gonna talk about him. Oh my God.
First, before we go any further, that's what I like about Phil. He has probably the most, like I would say, influence of people, who talk about the same stuff we do, but he will not hesitate to drop by your chat and leave a comment or two and engage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because some people get that. Because some people will get that verified check mark on YouTube and feel like they have arrived.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Look. Hey, look, that's what was so sad about losing my old channel. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of people made me go, damn, I arrived. That's what I'm talking. And YouTube said, nah, nigga, you gonna know. Look, all of that, no. Negro, no.
Thank you, Go. Yeah. Thank you, Go Layla. Yeah, well, see, one LVZ was trying to accuse me of having a swelled head and not loving him. And I was like, wait a minute, man.
Y'all got big headed. Y'all let y'all channels all three. Let's talk about this. Look, all three of them got big headed. Y'all, you see how they left me back out in the cold, man? They said we can't. Look, he out here calling crackers Peckerwoods and talking about. He in the social service office smacking crackers upside the head We can't be around him. He gonna get your channel taken down.
Phil saying I'm not Hollywood. We know you ain't Hollywood, brother.
No.
We know you're not Hollywood, Phil.
We just
No.
have much respect for you, Phil. That's all.
Oh, and by the way, Phil, if you're in that, I know you probably listening. I enjoyed your commentary when you went to Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was excellent.
that was cool. I watched all of that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
We all got to do it one day. We all got to do it.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna do like Phil say. I ain't coming back. Yeah, I ain't got no felonies in Africa. I ain't got no felonies in Africa. I can work and everything. Brother, come on over here and bring that magical leaf that you love so much.
Mm-hmm. All right, y'all. Let's go to our next topic. Serena Williams.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Man,
Ooh.
she has been taken. And it is just tragic watching Serena just have to fight off everybody by herself, and her old sorry ass cave husband has not stepped forward to defend her even once.
No.
Not once.
Has been dragged through the mud for days now.
Taurean rain, LVZ is Taurean rain on this one. I feel nothing.
But you know what? This explains why her father didn't even come to her wedding. See, her father saw straight through this bullshit with her white, with that white dude. He saw straight through it.
Man, no. This explains why Dad ain't coming to her aid right now. Dad love to take a shot at the white man, but when you disrespect me like that, not only did you go against basically what I more than likely taught you, you didn't marry a white man, you married a white supremacist.
Yeah.
This man, anybody that gives leeway to white supremacists to put up white supremacist views, called spook hunt and spook chat and all of that on Reddit, he's a white supremacist. He has no problem with racism. To make $1, that means you're a racist too.
Do you know I am heavily watched on Reddit?
Really?
I didn't know that.
51% is Reddit watching.
Dang.
No, this just go to show you how much these white supremacists are watching us.
Yep.
This is
That's
just,
how that's probably where them trolls come from too.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I'm heavily watched on Reddit. Heavily watched. And you know what? When I did my video on, all of mine keeping y'all up to date on my court case when I took YouTube to court.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. They thumbs that video down so bad.
How did niggers get by it? Oh my God.
And Lisa, they didn't only thumb down the video, they smashed that daggone thumbs down button with such force.
Nah, I'm messing you up. It was only 6 white boys that was doing it. They just kept using them ghost accounts. I'm gonna shut it down now. Look, I figured it out. I got me a ghost account. Every black person, you should have a ghost white account. I've been going around taking random pictures of just white people, and now I'm on the internet as the white supremacist. There you go.
Well, anyway, when I put that video up, one of them actually emailed me and said, wow, that's really clever that you got back on. Can you just give me the rundown on what you did? I was like, I said, MFer, you probably the one that flagged me in the first place.
Hey, tell me what you did so I can block the loophole. She's gonna believe me because I'm a white man.
That's like when someone wants some award money when something gets stolen and they be returning it, and they probably like, hold on, you probably was the one that stole it.
Yeah. But it was so funny. I got a kick out of doing them videos because they would come in droves and thumbs me. Like, God damn it, she got back on.
I love it.
Fucking niggers! How did this chocolate monkey get by us? Lord! Do something! Can't she do something? She keeps talking about opioids. Bobby, do you got a Percocet?
Just before I was flagged down, one of my last hangouts I did, this must have been like back in April before they took me down. I had one show up on my live stream, and he was like, "Why won't you stop talking about white people?" I was like, "What? You keep talking about white people. I want you to stop talking about white people."
Oh my God.
Ain't that a bit? Ain't
Crazy.
that a bit?
Oh man, these people are crazy.
How they gonna tell you stop talking about white? How would I stop talking about white people? What? How would I stop talking about white people?
Exactly. It's like when they say, "Why y'all talk about race?" The whole goddamn country was built on race. How do you not talk about race?
Exactly.
Why you always? I wish you just go to hell, man. They just left me alone. They'd have left me alone now. After a while, they know I had fun with it. Cause see, I sent that picture with me and my shotgun back to the last cracker that called my phone. See, I ain't gonna change my phone till you Peckerwoods out this motherfucker that call you super nerds. You can go ahead and text my phone, and you can go ahead and find my address. Cause you can go ahead and line dance your ass down this motherfucker. But I bet you be crawling the fuck away from me or leaving this motherfucker in the slab. So I ain't worried about your ass. See, you got the right Negro right here.
Yeah, I think I got them butt sore that I got back on. They were butt sore, and you know I was enjoying the hell out of it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
We was enjoying it for you too. It was a whole party in them comment sections.
Yeah.
You know they troll them. You see a bunch of dislikes on your video. You're like, oh, I know who y'all are.
Oh, yes.
I'm good.
And it was like, oh, she went to court. Stop telling the other black people. Will you just shut up?
Oh my God.
I'm just, all I can say is no. We never let them win. We never,
exactly,
never.
Right.
All right, y'all. Let's talk about the 11-year-old that was tased.
Oh boy.
Listen, I know Royal is in this chat. She went in on her video about this topic on Black Junction, and I can see why she put it over there, because if she put it on YouTube and she didn't age restrict it, they were going to flag that thing.
Yeah. Thank you, J-Dog. When I saw just listening to this guy, when I listen to Coons, it's equivalent to somebody scratching a chalkboard with their nails. It just gets under my skin.
Yeah.
I'm serious. And
it's the worst.
He opened his mouth and started talking all that stuff. I was like, oh my God. I said a chocolate covered white man.
But you know what? The thing that pissed me off the most about it was that one comment he made when he said, "This is why the Black community does not have a lot of grocery stores."
That is right. The reason why the Black community don't have grocery stores is because they would not allow anybody within the community to have a business. The banks won't loan to those Black people to open up a supermarket and have one in the community. But they'll gladly give something to some broken English Asian, or some, or some East Indian that don't even wear deodorant. You go in their stores, you smell underarms. See, they'll gladly give loans to them, but they won't give nothing to anyone in the Black community.
Exactly.
Hey, at least I don't mean to jump off the topic right quick, but you know how I kept talking to you about how I had that Twitter stalker, and I know y'all probably saw that too. Well, apparently now they're back, and guess what, Lisa? They sent you a tweet.
Oh, really?
Yes. They said they tweeted you, and I didn't know who it was because apparently they must. The reason why I knew it was someone I knew was because they put my name in the tweet. They said, As I told Taurean, it's been almost 3 months, and I never heard you say a word about the vicious murder of XXX Tentacion. I wonder why. Oh, because the murders were black. Who's the lamestream media?
What?
I had listen. This is the Twitter stalker that I kept telling y'all about. They disappeared for like a few weeks, and now they're back under another name. I don't even have to bother looking up their IP address because it's going to lead me right back to them being in Oklahoma. That's where they're at, in Oklahoma.
Thank you, Nefertari Aitan Ra. Thank you.
I'm gonna just go ahead and block them again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, see, you know what it is with me. I like Twitter, but I have not spent a lot of time out there really establishing myself.
Right.
You know, and I really need to start doing that. I have not done that. And so a lot of times I'll get tweeted and people will say, "Did you get my tweet?" And I you know, sometimes it'll be a couple of days before I go out there and look. And I really got to get in the habit of going out there, you know, daily, even if it's once a day. I just haven't gotten in the habit of doing that.
Yeah.
So if you tweet me, I did not get it. I did not read it. But perhaps after this is over, I'll go out there and look.
I'm looking in the chat. The chat, and they said that stalker was in the chat.
Okay. I just told the president and shit on Twitter. If I see anybody on the news cooning, I troll them. If I see any white supremacists on the news, I troll them on Twitter. That's all I use Twitter for, is the troll. I don't ever get any stalkers because I don't know why. It's just like I said, they figured it out. But about that 11-year-old girl though, man, you know what? When I heard that cop talk, the shit that I heard, this is what I heard as he was talking. He was like, "Well, why are you trying to run away? Don't run away. Let me lock you up so white daddy can have you." And then when he said that shit, this the reason why. That's all I can hear. See, that's the reason why it ain't no grocery stores in the black community, sweetheart. Cause y'all stealing $50 worth of stuff. So white master don't want to put no store in here. It's all your fault.
You know what? Number one, I don't like to see our people hungry. I remember this was back when I was still working in corporate America. One woman I worked with, you know, she had I was a manager and she was like the receptionist. So, you know, she was making a lot less. And she was upset. And this was back when I was still celebrating Christmas. And she said, "You know, I'm so broke. I can't even buy my granddaughter nothing.
Right.
After I paid my rent, I don't even have enough to even get a Christmas dinner." And then she just broke down and started crying. So today I went to ShopRite up here and I got a $150 gift card and I gave it to her. I can't bear to see our people starving. Something about a black person starving just gets next to me.
Right. Yeah. I get you something to eat if I think you legit. But those was little kids, man. If I saw little kids stealing, first of all, if I'm around, first of all, let's put this shit in perspective. They stole $50 worth of shit from a Kroger's, and it was more than one of them.
Right.
When they said they stole clothes from a Kroger, I said, "What the fuck kind of clothes they sell at Kroger's? And how poor do you got to be to get clothes from a grocery store?" Right. Ain't nobody rocking no Safeway gear. Now, if this girl, if he was any kind of cop, why not follow them home? See what situation they came from. Talk to the mother. And then get the people to $50. Because obviously they need, but you tase her, you coon ass nigga.
Right.
You tase an 11-year-old girl. I don't give a fuck what they stole. Look, if you just was even if you wanted to be a hard ass, grab them, call the police. Grab them, call the parents, and watch them get an ass whooping. But don't tase a child.
Yes.
No. Yeah.
you know,
and it was hard to see, hard to watch.
Oh boy,
that happened. Like when they showed the body cam footage when they were taking the taser out of her back, because I was trying to see what it was compared to, and they said, imagine being shot with a staple gun. They said that's what it feels like. So it's like they gotta unhook it out of your back before they can't just yank it out of your skin.
Hear her crying as they're trying to dig it out of her back. It's just disgusting. Just the whole.
Yeah,
I can't. Like I said, I remember I gave her that $150 gift card, and she just poured out with tears. And I don't want to hear nothing about this woman starving. She didn't have no food in the house. Her daughter lives with her. Her grandbaby lives with her, and they are struggling. And I was like, you know what? If I can't do nothing else, let me go and do this one thing for her. And I'm glad I did, because when we broke for the week and came back, she was so happy that she was able to have a nice dinner for her family. And that made me feel good.
That's awesome.
To me, if I was that cop, I probably would have done something to help her. If somebody is stealing food, that tells you something, they're hungry. It might not be no food at home.
Exactly. He could have been a man. He could be like, listen, honey, why are you stealing?
Right.
The food is it hard at home? How about I give you $40 towards something? That's how he's a self-hating, low-life, trashy coon. Like, why would you do that to a child?
Yeah.
Right. He's a banjo picking, watermelon seed spitting, shuffling, sambo shuffle, motherfucker doing the watermelon waltz, mush mouth mambo. He doing the motherfucker mush mouth mambo with his motherfucker pickaninny tap shoes on. Tuning Kevin Brown nose. Police officer.
There you go.
LVZ, as you were talking, True Royal came up and put badass pig, and then she put a whole string of pig heads. That's why I started.
Yeah, that's right. That's what the fuck you. Fat yay.
Much love to True Royal.
What's up, True Royal Auntie? I ain't talk to you in a minute.
I know. It's been so long since I've done a live stream. I gotta do one soon. It's been like just trying to transition here. I just haven't sat down and done an official one, but I'm gonna do one soon. We all can do like in the old days.
I missed y'all.
I know.
Damn it. I'm a villain, but I got feelings too, damn it.
Yeah. Nicole, we understand. You've been through a lot over these past months, so we definitely understand.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Whew, yeah.
We love you, Nicole.
I love y'all so much back. Thank you.
All right, y'all. Let's get to our next subject. George Zimmerman.
Oh God, you saw the damn documentary too. I didn't even want to talk about it till I talked to y'all.
It's like these topics just go from bad to worse.
Yeah. Hey, this is only in 1 week, y'all. This is 1 week.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
So you saw the documentary where George Zimmerman been texting Jay-Z, the producer of the documentary. He done threatened the damn private eye who got the information for the documentary. Right. He done found a way to get their personal phone. Now, I'm going to tell you the first problem I had. Let me tell y'all some personal stuff, y'all. Why the people have been, that's why I got a small circle of friends that's just y'all. Because most people don't understand. People been asking me, why am I watching this? What am I learning new? Well, jackass, I want to be informed all the way through. Because Peckerwoods to this day still try to say hands up, don't shoot is a lie until I tell them about the Michael Brown documentary I saw, in which I know that Bob McCullough, the state's attorney, was taking the word of all the liars and throwing every black person who was their word out. Yeah. So hands up, don't shoot was the truth. Yeah. So, and then you watch this documentary, you find out that one, the prosecutor wasn't objecting anything.
Yep.
And at one point, Mark O'Mara and them bring in just some random white lady to say they got robbed.
Yep.
What the fuck do that got to do with Trayvon Martin? So just because you got robbed by a black person, any black person walking through the neighborhood could be the robber. Now, keep in mind, they already knew that the robber was in jail. The prosecutor never objected and said, well, objection. That guy's locked up, ain't he? So what is your point about talking about this robber? How is that relevant to Trayvon Martin? Right. Then you find out they couldn't even use half the evidence. This motherfucker, like I said, this the last thing I'm going to say, and y'all take the floor. Look, stop saying to people, won't you, if you're so bad, won't you go get George Zimmerman? If he in Florida, George Zimmerman is untouchable. You saw a white man shoot at George Zimmerman who was following him and stalking him, and that motherfucker got 25 years. Nigga, if you touch George Zimmerman, be ready to get the electric check. And if y'all motivating somebody to do that, make sure y'all taking care of their family, because that motherfucker's gonna go to jail forever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, you can't forget that his father is a judge.
And you know what? Catch him outside of Florida, unless he outside of Florida. You can't touch him. If you catch him somewhere in Chicago, you can do him dirty. Catch him somewhere in the DMV, have your way with him. But you catch him in Florida, I feel sorry for you, champ.
And you know what, you brought up something interesting, and like when you talking about that white guy who shot at him and got all those years in jail, I'm like, how did so many people forget about that? I didn't forget that, and he only injured him. He didn't kill him, and the injury didn't even come from the bullet. It came from the glass. Shattered.
Slim missed, Taurean. Thank you. I said the same. I said, man, he missed and got 25 years. He got more time for missing George Zimmerman than George Zimmerman got for killing Trayvon Martin, stalking and killing somebody. Yep. He got more time than George Zimmerman got for pulling out a gun on his ex-wife and knocking her father out. He got more time than George Zimmerman got for following him to work with a gun, which is why he shot at him.
And look at what he's doing. He said he was going to feed Beyonce to the alligators. He's going to feed Jay-Z to the alligators. He's going to feed the private investigator to the alligators. Now, just imagine, what if we sat up and we start talking about white people in that way? The feds will be at your damn door.
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, but I thought you was going to get on this. I thought you was going to go there with this, sis. Look, think about that. Feed you to the alligator. That's old Klan rhetoric right there, ain't it?
Yeah, but you know what, brother? That's Sanford, Florida. It happened in Sanford, Florida.
I know.
And you fed the alligators in Sanford, Florida.
Right.
Remember
I told y'all, I ain't tell y'all last year, I almost got into a fight in Wild, Florida, because they tried to give Jay Boss a damn little plaque when we was taking a picture that said gator bait. I said, motherfucker, I'll whoop your ass. Don't you ever do no shit like that. I said, man, don't play no games with me. I know where the fuck I'm at. You don't call no little black kid gator bait. I'll fuck you up.
Wow. The nerve.
Yeah, right?
The nerve.
The nerve of a cracker. They think I'm dumb. And if you don't read, you just sit there, oh, that's cute. No, that shit ain't cute. These motherfuckers still dream of feeding you the alligators.
Right. And George Zimmerman stalked and killed Trayvon. There is no doubt about it. He initiated that whole thing. There is no way he should be out of jail. There is no way. But in this society, and his dad was connected, you know, he was a judge, and that's the only reason why his ass is free. And you can tell in the beginning, they didn't even want to arrest him, if you remember.
No.
They did not even want to arrest George Zimmerman.
Shit, they showed it on the documentary. We got him arrested. We did. Yeah. Acting a fool for months and protesting and screaming. And all of that for them to put on a farce trial and throw them out and throw it out.
Yeah. One thing, documentary at the time when this happened, the actual Trayvon Martin trial. This is around the time I had just lost my twin daughters. I don't know if I've ever talked about it. One day I'll do a whole video about it, but I was pregnant with twins at 5 months and I had just buried them around this time. And I was not on social media, but I remember this trial so deeply. And one of the things this documentary has reminded me, I guess I didn't realize just how, like you guys have said, just how they purposely threw this. They had no one come on to show the human side in this little boy. Nobody.
Yeah.
They had nothing but folks coming out there trying to basically put him on trial. It didn't even hit me how horrific this was. They didn't want to bring him to trial.
Oh yeah.
They threw that whole case.
But you know what, Nicole? It was very obvious, even in the beginning, the prosecution was throwing the case on purpose.
Yeah.
It was very obvious. You know, they didn't want to put certain people on the stand. They didn't want to check into this. They were just ignoring so many things. It was like, I was sitting there and I was like, they're throwing this case on purpose.
Especially that little weasel face one with the glasses. That dumb motherfucker. He was the lead prosecutor. That little weasel face, dumb, nearsighted, piss poor ass Peckerwood sat there. And the best one was the dumb one who brought the dummy out and ended up having it getting used against him. And these two dumb motherfuckers once again sat there and didn't object anything. These were the worst lawyers.
There were many things they should have objected and they just sat silent. And
yeah. I just didn't notice it.
Purpose.
I guess I just didn't notice it. I didn't notice it. I guess I was still dealing with my loss, and then seeing this trial, I think it just made me even more depressed. I didn't get on social media for a while. This trial even drained me. Just sitting there, I'm like, why am I watching this? Because it's just pissing me off. But I didn't realize how bad it really was.
I realized Trayvon Martin actually sparked me on social media. I never touched it until after that case. And then I started thinking about, like, one of my first videos was me saying, they throwing this case. And I was showing it on. I was like, man, they not objecting. And I thought about it, I said, God damn, the little shit I saw back when the case was going on in 2014. I just started my channel. And I was following that case. I said, man, they throwing this. They gonna let him off.
Yeah. It was very obvious. And it's so funny. Do you see how hard he was going after that private investigator?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
What did he do? Wasn't it, Taurean? Wasn't it like over 300 text messages? Crazy?
It was a lot. It was a lot of them. He was like, you would have think that they was in a relationship and the prosecutor broke up with him and he became a scorned ex. The way he was going at him.
That private investigator, I think he got like over 350 text messages from.
Yes,
it was a lot,
and a bunch of voicemails, and I was like, who the hell does that? That just go to show you the psychopathic mind that George Zimmerman has. You can tell he ain't right.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for that day. I get on Facebook, I get on YouTube, I see Lisa's channel, I see one LVZ. George Zimmerman is dead. I'm just waiting for that day. I know that's horrible to say, but I'm just waiting for that day.
You gonna get another celebration song from me, just like when that flat faced Paris Denard got suspended from CNN.
Oh my goodness, wasn't that something?
It sure was. Like, and the thing is, I found that out at like 8 in the morning. I'm still kind of half asleep, but that woke me all the way up. You'd have thought I just had like a couple of shots of coffee when I saw that.
Hold it a minute. President Trump, he does everything for the black community, HBCUs, and sit your moist ass down. I'm glad they fired his ass.
No, you know what? That was equivalent to the Amber Phillips moment. You remember when she got caught up?
Oh yeah, on that plane.
I tell you, it was equivalent to that, the Paris Denard thing.
Yeah. That's what her ass. Who the shit? Who is Amber? Oh, the shit emoji. That's what she talking about. The shit emoji with glasses. Oh, I know who Amber Phillips.
I call it Cancer Phillips.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one, but she looked like the shit emoji. I couldn't make this shit. I said, man, I seen this face somewhere. And then I said, man, oh, there she go. I just put her in the chat room now. There she go. Put some glasses on that turd and some dreads. And that's Amber Phillips.
And a coon just don't want to believe that they got a shelf life. They don't want to believe it. They think as long as they are licking the master's ass, they are in.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But yeah, Paris, oh man, it was almost like he went in an instant.
Yes, we do, Big Phil. We know why he got suspended, Big Phil. Because look, and it's wild. It had nothing to do with those women. What it had something to do with, Phil? I got to see this one. He got one for us. We got a scoop. He said it wasn't about them women. Even though I was shocked too. I said, hold up. But you know it had to be white women.
When I had did my commentary about that, when I had found that out, I almost did the same thing that my subscribers did in the comment section and said, oh, it was women. I said, that's the only thing that surprised me about the whole article.
Oh, yeah.
It was women. But when I started seeing the comments coming, I said, y'all spoke my mind for me.
Phil Mudd. I know what Phil talking about. I watched that. That was his last interview. He pissed off Phil Mudd. And Phil Mudd told him, look, man, the white CIA agent, you come on here all the time with that. It's over. You're done. You're done.
Wow.
And the next day, that came out.
Yeah.
You can't make no CIA agent.
Wow.
Because I remember watching the last time he was on CNN, that little argument was getting pretty heated. And then the very next day, they snatched his butt right on off of there.
Hey, Phil, I swear I ain't look. That's me. I swear I ain't thinking about that. That's right on time. I ain't know that. That's the truth. Hey, that's what you pissed off the wrong person. Now that's what you get. All that buck dancing. Master Trump couldn't help you then, could he?
Exactly. I was just getting ready to say that. I said 45 did not come to his defense once. You didn't see not one tweet come off of his Twitter account talking about Paris Denard. At that point, he became a blip on the radar.
Why should anybody be shocked? He didn't stand up for Omarosa either. And he claimed he liked her back then. When she got fired, did he do anything for her?
He called her a dog.
Yeah. And that was after she dropped shit about him. But before then, he was all into her, you know?
Yep.
Well, Lisa, you could take that any type of way when you say he was all into her.
Very true. Very true.
Oh boy.
All right, y'all. Let's get into this one.
Uh-oh.
Amber Geiger.
Miss Man.
Oh, y'all, wait a minute. I gotta drop this one. Taurean, guess who the attorney is? Benjamin Crump. I know, right? I saw him standing with the family. I said, oh, hell no.
Hey, look, that makes sense, though. Did I hear the mother singing about forgive already, man?
Yeah, you heard that. You heard that sad song.
Yeah, but there's a twist to the story today. There's a twist. The mother.
There's been a lot of twists to this story.
Yeah. The mother came out today and said she does not believe Amber Geiger's story. She don't believe nothing she said.
Right. Right. I agree.
And she shouldn't.
You know,
nobody believes her story. It actually should be stories because she's had so many stories.
I say she done had 4 different stories since you done read the story.
Taurean, I was listening to the news and they said a couple of the neighbors heard her in the hallway.
That's what I heard too.
They said we heard her in the hallway and she was yelling, open the door. And they said they heard her say in the hallway, open the door.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Now, if this is her apartment, why is she yelling?
If you were at your house and you thought that was your apartment, why would you yell, open the door at your own place?
Exactly. Yeah. And not only that, and this is one thing I like about social media, because you can find stuff on there that you can't find on mainstream media. So they actually, they have different locks for people who live there, like regular residents, and for people who are in law enforcement who live there. So her lock looked different from his. His lock was more like a more standard lock. Hers looked like it was like a lock. It was like a long lock. And then on top of that too, someone recorded how the key works. Like it's like one of those 5 keys, like a hotel key. So you have to put it in. So you have to put it in, and when you turn it, it turns into a green light, and you can get in. If the light turns red, you can't get in, and that's what hers did when she tried to get into his apartment.
Right.
A friend of mine told me the same thing. She stays out Texas. She was like, "We got key fobs here, so even if his door was unlocked, she couldn't just get in."
Let me tell y'all something. When on my last job, when I worked in corporate America, I was the manager in IT, and I was also in charge of the overall building security of who got in and out of the building. Do you know I was the one that programmed key fobs?
See?
I know exactly how they work. I used to have to program them so that people could get in and out of the building. So she is lying. There is no way she was at the wrong apartment. She would never have gotten in. She would never, ever have gotten in.
And the other lie that she tried to say was that the door was ajar. And that was a lie too, because someone demonstrated on video at that same apartment complex of them holding the door open, and it just closes because it's like one of those weighted doors. So it can't stay open unless someone props it open.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. But I used to program key fobs, and then when the guests would leave, I would deprogram it. So if you went back outside with the same key fob after I deprogram it, you would never be able to get in the building.
Exactly.
That was a big part of my job. Anytime we had visitors, I gave them a temporary key fob, so I know exactly how that whole thing works.
This whole case just like the Bill Cosby case in an abstract, weird way. For me as a black man, goddamn, I don't feel safe at all. Look,
yeah,
I mean,
you can get killed in your own house.
I'm about to say, what the fuck can I do and feel safe? And look, if he shot that bitch, that motherfucker would have went to jail, and she in his house.
Yep.
Well, no, Maurice, let me correct you on that. Maurice Carlisle, you said he was in a relationship with Amber. That is false.
I know. I said I keep saying that.
False. It actually came out that they did not know each other.
I'm about to say they didn't know each other. I'm about to say I don't know why y'all keep saying that, but they didn't know each other.
They did not know each other, Maurice. That is not true. He was not a swirler.
No.
That picture that went out with him and those 3 other white women. None of those women in that picture is that Amber.
That was her. No, right. She wasn't even in the picture. That was something that got circulated on social media, and it was false. But no, they were not involved with each other. They were not in a relationship, and that is a real false narrative that's out there. And and people are still circulating that around.
Yeah, we gotta get that out of there. He wasn't smashing her.
Because the thing is, they're putting that narrative out there so people can put in their minds not to be on his side, because they've seen this happen before, like with the Stephon Clark situation.
Right. Right. Yeah, I think people seen that and how we reacted to that Stephon Clark situation, and they might try to dirty up the waters, but let's stay on focus, y'all. Look, even if Slim was a swirler right now, that has nothing to do with a motherfucker coming in his house and shooting him.
Right.
I'm sitting right here minding my motherfucking business. A peck of wood just come in this bitch and shoot me. Say, oops, I thought she was somebody else. Come on, man. You can't do this. Come on, man. Really? Somebody said, I think she was really drunk. Does that excuse it? I have never been so drunk that I went to the wrong house and shot a motherfucker.
That's right.
I see all these pictures of their family in there. This motherfucker done broke in, made my house smell like chicken. Look, that white supremacists knew damn well. Let me go ahead and cook for a second, y'all. Y'all know goddamn well that white lady just was trying to kill her black man that night. She knew when she walked up to the door and it smelled like motherfucking Kush incense and goddamn curry goat up in there, that she knew that wasn't her lettuce smelling ass house. And she knew that wasn't her motherfucking pledge furniture cleaner and celery and cucumber mask smelling ass house.
LBZ, are you hungry?
I am a little bit, but I know one thing. My house don't start. Look, you know I've been a movie for 20 years. I be in a lot of Peckerwood's house, and the smell of lettuce and cabbage I'm familiar with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, when you walk up in our house, smell like seasonal. Now, she knew she was in the wrong house when she smelled seasonal and motherfucking smoked turkey wings. This white woman is a murderer, and I don't want to hear she was drunk. Oh, yeah, right. She smelled like that bologna with the red ring, the plastic red ring around it.
Yeah. But you know what, y'all? You know, you're right. And the thing is, they wasted, you saw how long it took them to even tell you who she was.
Exactly.
So you know what? They had her back from day one. It took days for them to come out with a name.
Absolutely. They scrubbed the internet. They scrubbed her social media. They did all of that. Yeah. I will go out on a limb and say this was a white supremacist initiation.
So, because you know what, Nicole, what it was. The Ku Klux Klan do initiation killings. You can look this up on the Google. They do initiation killings. So it is something very common that white supremacists do.
Right.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if she eyeballed this guy, figured out where he lived, just set it up from there.
Right.
Just think maybe they're on the elevator together one day and she went on the same floor as him. Oh, you live here? Okay. Just picked him.
They were only one floor.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. They were only one floor. She lived on the 3rd floor. He lived on the 4th floor.
So did he live over her?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. All right, now there you go. That's as simple as that. He was making noise over her. She knew him. She knew him. That was bullshit. She didn't know him.
Lived there 3 years. I heard he was making 3 years.
And he was making noise over her head. And one day he told her go fuck herself because I live in an apartment. Seriously, one day he told her go fuck herself because I live in an apartment. Or he might have had some music on that night. And she tired of it. She gonna go down there and hand her and figure out she gonna hand her, like my man Phil say, some white supremacist justice out there. And have her a good old Klan rally in that man's living room. That's what it sounds like to me. Hold up. Somebody think about that, y'all. I ain't know she lived directly underneath him. I live underneath somebody in a black neighborhood. I used to want to strangle the people that live upstairs over me. But I'm not a cave devil with an authority complex.
Mm-hmm. But you know how she handled it all, the whole thing. After she shoots him, what would you do? You would call the emergency squad. She didn't do that. She called her partner.
Let him bleed out.
She never tried to get help for him.
Nope. I heard she had a dog too.
Yeah. And she shot him right in the chest.
Yep. So she knew she wasn't at her place. It's just too much out there to prove. She knew
And then they say that it was dark in his apartment.
Yes. Yeah. She said she saw a shadow.
So you just shooting in the dark, just that random.
Yeah.
No, you know what? Personally, I think he said something to her. Because who's going to enter your house and you don't say nothing? I think he did. She knew he was there. She knew he was there. If you walked in my house, and even if you thought you were at your house, I'll be like, what the hell are you doing in my house? Which is a natural reaction. So she knew he was there, and in order for her to shoot him in the chest, she saw him. I'm sorry, I just feel like she saw.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's why I think that's an upstairs down. Look, think about, man. I know. I done had a friend that lived in a building with a cop. They got one of these authority complexes. When they live in a building, they don't go to the rental office with their complaint. They come to you and like to have a badge with them. And shit, I got a cousin that's a Capitol Police that do the same shit.
Yeah, LVZ, they check you out. When I moved into another neighborhood, and there were, listen to this, 4 cops on the street that I lived on. 4. Do you know they had already checked me out?
See?
We just wanted to, you know, we keep the street safe, which they did. Nothing ever happened. Nobody's house got broken into, nothing like that, because it was 4 cops on the street. But yeah, they checked me out and everything. In fact, one of them came up to me when I first moved in, and he was like, "Hi, Lisa." And I was like, "How do you know who I am?" And he was like, "Oh, we kind of check everybody out that come in the neighborhood to make." I said, "Yeah, you saw a Negro and you decided to check me out. I know why you did."
Yeah, you see that. You see that.
A Negro in your neighborhood. What the hell is she doing here?
Right.
That's what it was.
Oh, that'd be the funny thing about moving these white people into these nice, esteemed neighborhoods here in D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. They see that all black moving crew, they be stuck at first. They're like, "Are you moving in?" All right, no. Oh, okay, great. Why is that great, motherfucker? Fuck is great about me not moving in? Pack of wood?
Yeah.
That's great. You're not moving in, are you? Okay, I'm gonna go home. I'll just come back later.
And they want to know everything. Now I lived on the corner, so I only had one neighbor on the other side of me, and it was a white man, and he had 3 children, and his wife had left him. she left him with the 3 kids, and she went off and screwed another man and got pregnant while they were still married. She was pregnant by her new man. And I was like, wow. Man was jacked up. I think that really messed him up psychologically. And I would be outside, you know, back then it had snowed a lot. So my son and I would go out there, and, you know, when we dug out the snow, we would start throwing snowballs at each other and everything. And he would just come out and watch us. And he was like, "Oh," he said, "You guys are really close." Well, yeah, this is my son. Of course I'm going to be close with my son. But they watch our every move. Even when they're your neighbors, they watch your every move.
Yep.
Everything you do outside of your house, their eyes are locked in on you. That's just how they are.
Absolutely.
All right, y'all.
Crazy.
What do you think about that man that protected the pregnant woman out in the parking lot?
Loved it. Wow. You didn't even have to finish it. Loved it.
I thought that was my daddy. That looked like my dad with that right hook right there. Right hook. He said, "Motherfucker, whoop on his ass some more. Oh, whoop on his ass."
But you see how he tried to get everybody's attention? He's got a gun.
All dramatic.
and nobody came. That's what got me. That's what had me rolling. But as soon as he's got a gun. I guess he thought a whole bunch of white people were going to come over there.
Right.
Nobody came.
Hey, you know, for real, I know this gonna mess with y'all head. You know my favorite part about the video? The white lady who just get in her car and drive. Look, I'm just trying to get in my car. Hey, that had me laughing like shit. I said, watch this white lady call the police. She's like, "No, I just want to get in my car. I just want to get in my car."
And she ran fast too.
Always get involved. You know, even when I was watching, y'all remember that fight on the train with the black man and black woman fighting? Yeah. And you notice all them white people were on the train. You notice none of them got up and into it.
Oh no,
they were just like, okay.
Shouts out to that brother and sister in the UK for putting the fist of justice on them backwoods. The fist and foot of, you saw that brother stop. He may read these.
One of my favorite parts of that video was when the woman said, "Don't let me take off my wig." See, I said when a woman says she has to take off her wig or her earrings or her shoes, that means she's about to fight, and she's most likely gonna win that fight.
I don't know about that. All I know is this, Taurean. I just saw a new Nike commercial because that white man read that brother's Nikes. He stopped that man in the face. Just do it. That's just all I can think. He don't. What? Hey, look, that white guy gonna burn his Nikes, but it ain't got nothing to do with Kaepernick.
Yeah, right. Oh my God, those two.
And then she gave him the A-Town stomp too, and she did that barefoot.
Yeah, man, whooping or drumming on their ass.
But you know what? Right. I'm glad the brother came in because I think if he didn't, the white guy probably would have tried to jump on her.
He did,
and he acted quick too.
Hey, look, I think that brother LDBC UK. Shouts out to Mickey Briggs. Is that one of the LDBC UK? He caught that man with he set it up with the jab. Look at that. So he slowed it down, set it up with the jab, straight right hand, wham. Then he grabbed the peckerwood and gave him the fists of justice.
Yeah, had his butt all down on the ground and everything.
But see, look, if you're going to have some tap shoes, that's the type of tap shoes I want to see you have all on a white supremacist ass. But yeah, I'll hit that cracker with a right hook. And when the best part was when he said he's got a gun, I was like, well, I feel safer already. The black man got a gun this time.
Right? I tried to yell a couple of things out because I know in the beginning he was like, he's got a gun. He's got a gun. I guess he thought a whole herd of people were going to come running over. They just ignored his ass and went on.
And you know what was even more funnier too when he said he got a gun? His fellow white man was to the side. He said, "So it's legal."
Because I knew that was somewhere in Florida or something like that. That's what it sounded like.
It was so funny because he literally had everything stacked up against him. Like you had the pregnant woman who was recording him, the brother that came in, who I found out his name is Derek Brown. And did you know he was 60?
Yeah.
I was just about to say that.
I thought he. That's why I said I thought he was my dad. He looked real good for his age. He was in good shape. You know what I'm saying? And he threw that right hook with bad intentions. Man, slow it down. That cracker was like, oh God.
He was like, I was supposed to come over here and smack a pregnant woman, and he messed everything up. I tell you what, I don't think he'll be going near any more black people anytime soon.
He shouldn't. After that, I got stitched all the hell up. I think he understands now. Fist of justice.
Oh, LVZ, I saw that video of you damn near cussing that white woman out that was trying to bother you.
That was too funny.
Yeah, listen, I had a situation just this past weekend. I went in the store and I was talking to this black woman, and she and I kind of got into a conversation, and this white woman came from nowhere. And do you know she had the nerve to stand where we were, like she was in? And I looked at her and I said, what the fuck are you doing here? I'm not talking to you. Why are you here? And he beelined it up to the cashier and got the hell out of the store.
That's right. Check her right ass at the gate. Get your nosy ass on out of it. They always want to know what we do. Hey, what's that over there? The fuck on out of here.
Looked up out of nowhere. She and I just going back and forth, having a good conversation. And here she bring her old fat ass right up there and just standing there like she's part of our conversation.
For the few people who don't know what we talk about right now, some Peckerwood lady decided that it was smart for her to talk to me. And tell it, because what was so funny though, Lisa, I had parked my truck over on that right side long before the white boy came and moved on the other side of the street. Mm-hmm. So she complaining that I'm blocking the street as she has a throughway to go through. So she decided, while she saw me doing my live stream, this Negro is on the phone. Let me tell him, that he's blocking the street. You're blocking the street. And y'all saw how I react. I told her, have a nice day. You should just go. Now, I was giving her a polite warning because she didn't know who she was talking to. Y'all did, but she didn't. And I don't feel it fair to just spring that on people all the time. Mm-hmm. But the peckerwood persisted. So I politely rolled down my window and said, Miss, get your ass on, get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah.
And that's how you handle these situations.
The sad part is that's the only language they understand.
You saw how quickly she moved when I did that?
If you're polite, they just ignore you. When you get ugly on them, they understand that. And I was listening to Phil and I was watching his video on the white woman that just walked up and started putting her hands in this black woman's hair. You know what? Right. I have never experienced that. You know why? I look too evil when I'm out in public. Mm-hmm. They don't come up to me. I look too evil when I'm out in public. They don't come up and approach me and do stuff like that.
Hey, Lisa, I do, but I know I'm bald-headed, but I experienced this. I'm going to mess y'all up. When Jabari was 3 years old, I was taking him I had his hair out. Y'all know he ain't never had a haircut, so he got this big, nice, curly fro. Mm-hmm. So we going into the beauty supply store that was over there east over Taurean. And of course, only Asians got beauty supply stores here. But they know better than to try that shit here because we will whoop that ass back. So we walk in, she go, oh, he's so cute. I'm like, yeah. Where your shampoo? She said, over there. Can I touch your hair? And Jabari looked up and said, no. And kept walking with me. She said, oh, he said, I said no. I said, yeah, go on back behind that counter. You heard what he said. He ain't no goddamn pet.
Right.
I love it.
I never forget. It was one day. It was one day. I think it was like two.
Go ahead, Taurean.
I think it was like about 2 weeks ago when I was at work and I was working and I was throwing the bags and everything like that. And it was this white lady that works there for TSA, and she just comes off as very weird to me. And one thing that gets me about white people, especially white women, how come it seems like when they get older, their voices get more squeakier? It's almost like they never went through puberty at all. Like they still sound like little girls, and it's like really scary. But anyway, she was like, she was talking. I guess she was trying to engage me in conversation and everything like that while I was tossing the bags. And she had said something that was very weird to me or something like that. I guess she was trying to make a joke or something, but I can't remember what she said. I had just gave her one of those looks of like, I'm not trying to talk to you. I didn't even have to say anything. My whole body language and facial expression told it all. And she kind of looked at me like she was kind of scared, like, oh, let me not talk to him. And I was like, yeah, just give me the bag so I can toss it.
Yeah, because you was a tall black man. They said, please don't kiss me, big black man.
Yeah. Yo, no, LVZ, I was going to tell you, when my son was about 3 years old, we went into the supermarket, right? And he was like, I want to get out the cart. I said, okay, I'm going to let you out the cart, but you don't go too far away from me, because he was still little.
Right.
So anyway, I was getting a few items off the shelf, and I turned and I didn't see my son, right? And I'm like, where are you? Where are you? Right? So you scream, you're like, where the hell did you go? He poked his head out and said, I'm right here behind this fat white lady. Right here. This fat white woman. I'm right here. I was like, oh shit.
Wow.
I mean, he was huge. He was so fat. I couldn't even see my son. He was on the other side. He was like, I'm right here. Because you know how blunt kids are, right?
Yeah.
I'm right here behind this fat white woman.
Wow. I mean, look, he explained it perfectly. Great child. I love this child. He can tell him come on stay with Uncle V's.
They are blunt. They will tell you the truth.
So embarrassed. I said, I'm sorry. I said, he's only a baby. He doesn't know what he's saying. But he pointed at her and everything. I'm right here behind this fat white woman right here.
Speak, young melanated kids, that melanin is something about them. They don't want to be. They know when a white supremacist is lurking. Seriously, when kids are small, that youth melanin kicks in. Because Jabari one day, this old black lady was on a bus. We was catching a bus somewhere. I think I was probably taking them down to visit some family. And the old black lady was able to comfort him because he was acting real fussy. And the white lady was like, "Oh, he's so cute. He's so cute. Can I hold him?" I said, "Nah, if you even make a move towards him, he gonna cry." And so she looked at him. He bust out crying. I said, "See?" He stopped being cute after that.
Not so cute anymore, huh?
Oh my God.
Hilarious.
Kids are something else. I tell you.
That's why I like. That's why I like working with them because they just funny. They truthful, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And the other funny thing was I used to have a American Eskimo dog. And I guess, I had him for 19 years. I said, this dog probably going to outlive my ass. He lived for 19 years. Well, anyway, this dog hated white men. Oh, he would just go into a rage. And I said, I don't know where this is coming from because I got him as a pup. I said, I don't know if something happened, but whenever a white man came at my door, this dog went ballistic. I mean, I know what other people would come to the door, he would bark and everything. But when white men came to the door, this dog went over the top angry.
I know what it was. I think I know what it was, Lisa. Some white man tried to violate that dog.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I got him real young, you never know, but I just never, and I could never understand it. I was like, okay, calm.
It don't matter how young or anything like that. I just did a story about a guy who committed bestiality against a dying what was it? A dying it was something, it was on the side of the road. A dying beaver.
What? Oh my God.
Dang. I mean, I heard them refer to it as beaver, but goddamn, Pepperwood.
He was literal about it.
He was literally looking for some beaver. Good Lord.
Are you sure that was a beaver? Because they usually are around water. Was it a groundhog?
It was a beaver.
It was a beaver?
Well, crackers be around water too, sis.
Because basically what the story was is like this guy was driving this woman was driving along the road. She saw a beaver right there on the side of the road. She decided to go and drive and get something to wrap the beaver up, I guess, to try to take it maybe to a vet or something like that. She came back and she sees this guy literally on top of the beaver with his pants down, pumping it.
Oh my!
And the beaver is already dying. Of course, the beaver ended up dying. She probably could have saved it if it wasn't for him.
Oh man!
See, white people, y'all always add to y'all stereotype of y'all being inadequate downstairs. Cause first of all, no black person is that sick, and no black person shit is that small that they think that they could fit it in a beaver.
Well, first of all, how do you procreate and have more babies and you're having sex with beavers?
I don't know. Maybe they make some big teeth Dylan Roofs. They gonna make some Dylan Roofs with big ass teeth.
Well, that's why they ain't having no baby. They had too busy having sex with beavers.
That's why they all got that light coat of hair on them, because they having sex with beavers. And look, let me clarify what I meant when I said, well, white people be around water too. I mean like a lake or a pond, not like taking a bath. I mean like a lake or a pond. Because you always see some white person skinny dipping in a pond or in the lake.
Ocean. Let me tell you something what happened when I was a kid. We have a park back here, and behind the park is a creek. And there's a trail that you can walk on, and you can go on the bike trail back there, and there's another trail that you can foot walk, back.
I know exactly what you're talking about. And they had those little man-made creeks, this concrete that run along with the trail.
Now listen, LVZ. One of my friends and I, we were walking back there, right? And we looked, and it was a white dude in the water with a bar of soap. With a bar of soap, washing himself.
Now, how you figure that's gonna work? People that peed in that water.
No washcloth, dog. No washcloth. Just a bar of soap, and he was in the creek.
He put the bar of soap up his butt. That was his soap tray. You sick Peckerwood. You out here bathing in the creek. Man, you couldn't have done that in DC. You got beat down when it was Chocolate City. Now white people jogging around. I don't know anything liable to happen.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
You that dog ain't like white people. I was saying when you buy that dog, that might have been one of the Black Panthers dogs. Kill all of my owners, you motherfucker. He hate it.
I have never had a dog do that, before, but I remember, and then one time my son had to ask this one white guy to leave the house because he got so mad he started baring teeth at the damn man. I was like, okay. My son was like, you know what? Just step outside, okay?
Good. No, that dog ain't want him to be. Next thing you know, your son would have been on a ship. That dog an old soul. That dog was a long line of breed. You should have bred that dog. That dog probably kept some slaves back in Africa. They no bite the shit out your white ass. Go run. I named that dog Nat. That dog Nat. That's Nat, right? I wouldn't come around. Oh, Nat out that.
No. You know what? I named him Ziggy. Only because when I got him home for the first time, Ziggy Marley was on the radio. He was singing. And I said, you know what? I'm hearing this song. I'm naming you Ziggy. That's the name I gave him.
Funny.
Yeah. It was Ziggy Marley, and he was singing One Love. And that was when we first came home, I said, just bring the dog into the family room. So my son brought him in, and I hit the button on the radio, and Ziggy Marley was singing, and that's when I named him Ziggy.
Cute.
I ain't got no dog. I'm gonna name my dog something that piss white people off. If I get one, right?
So like what?
Christopher Dorner, come over here.
What? Like?
Come on over here. Get over here. Denmark. Fred Hampton, come on over here.
Thank you, that's
Molicon, sit down. Minister Lewis. Do you call your dog Minister Lewis just to scare white people? He don't like nothing white.
Oh yeah. Or you can call him Malcolm X.
Right.
Or you can call him what people are pissed off at right now and call him Colin.
Yeah,
Colin. Hey, I put a little 7 jersey on him. They're Michael Vick, my dog. White people will Michael Vick they'll steal my dog and sell it to a Chinese family. That's what they do. White people sick. Asians, if y'all ain't like that joke, fuck y'all white supremacists too. I give a fuck about y'all, man. LBZ only, hey, I'm B1 like a mug if y'all didn't know.
Yeah, people do that all the time. The people that live next door to me, their cat was named Tiger Woods.
Oh, wow.
People do that all the time. Thank you, that girl. But you know, that was just crazy. I just never seen an animal go that ballistic before. That was actually my first experience.
Greatest dog that ever lived. I never knew a dog was like, you should have bred that dog and sold it all through the black community. I don't even believe in keeping dogs, but look, since I would have bought 3 of them motherfuckers from me. And look, Labor Day, they wouldn't like nothing white. That Labor Day, they'd lose their damn mind. They'd be biting white people in white. Oh, they white in white? Oh, yeah.
I know. And believe me, the white kids in the neighborhood did not like my dog. They were like, he don't like us. I said, and I'll have nothing to do with that.
Why doesn't your dog like us? I don't like you little devils neither, because y'all about to shoot up a school. And they know it. You look like a future school shooter. That's why my dog don't like you.
Damn.
Now I'm getting so sick of this. People hit me with this random, well, what about black on black violence? I was like, yeah, well, I seen a country music concert where a whole bunch of y'all took yourself out. They don't like that shit right there. Right.
No. And number 2, you know what I tell them? I'll tell them, LVZ, when they bring up black on black crime, I'll tell them more people died of opioids every single year than black on black crime.
Well,
they usually after that.
Lisa, my love, opioids are for my people. I am the alpha, the omega sci-fi, the one to bring opioids to my people. Sky Daddy.
I said, let there be opioids, and there was opioids.
And we see that it was good. Pass them along, children. Take us a tablet or 4.
Thank you so much, Rio. Thank you.
Oh, man.
Oh, I know. But, you know, that's what I tell them, and that usually gets them butt sore.
Oh, yeah.
Or they'll tell me, you shouldn't make mockery of people that are drug addicts. Why? You made mockery of us when we were on crack.
Crack, yeah. Oh, I'm going to laugh like shit. Percocet Patty. My man Harold Wynn. Oh, yeah, little opioid Annie. What's going on? I'm going to have my fun with you. Shoot, you ain't had, you did. Look, they just locked our ass up when we was addicted to crack, busting up families. It's still people that's trying to get over the addiction. They didn't even study the long-term effects that it may have in our community. It's still families that's fractured over crack that somebody did in 1980. Man, I don't look. Hey, you. All you do is destroy and kill. It's gonna come back and get you too.
It is right now with all the opioids, and meth is another epidemic that's going on. You know, it is getting them right now.
Yep.
You know,
it's karma.
This is the last one. Do you know the South African president gave a speech, and he pretty much told Donald Trump to mind his damn business and not get involved in their land expropriation. Donald Trump is now trying to throw his 2 cents in, and he was like, this has nothing to do with you, Donald Trump. You know, yeah, Donald Trump think he can get involved and stop this from happening. And he said, no, we're going to move forward. This is going to happen.
Julius Malema?
No, the president. See, Fosa?
Oh, he said, look.
He told Donald Trump to mind his business.
Right, he was like, Peckerwood, you ain't got nothing over here. You keep talking. We'll throw more white invaders off. First of all, they had no business there in the first damn place.
Yeah.
And furthermore, South Africans have no right to share what was stolen from them with colonial. I mean, I know people like Mandela, but I don't. Because when you come out of jail, the first thing you should have did was expel your damn captors. You don't go, oh, Lord, this person, Lord, man. Meanwhile, your people live in squalor, and they got all of the riches in the country. And then you got Peckerwoods going on Facebook Live calling us kafirs and shit.
Yeah.
So, man, get the crackers out of there. Get them the hell out of there.
Yeah. And that's what I don't get. How the hell do you live in Africa? Africa, right? 94% black and only 6% white. How the hell do you go to the land of the blacks and be a racist?
Because
you don't think you won't get your stuff split.
Oh, man.
Damn, you said 6% white, you mean 6% invader.
Yeah, exactly. 6% colonizer.
Did you hear about that most recent thing that happened in Uganda with that Chinese man and the people there?
Yeah, I actually sent that video to Phil.
Yeah, and I saw it on Lisa's joint first, then I saw it on Phil. I laughed both ways. I ain't put my comment that I put in Lisa's video. That I started to put it in Phil. Get your dog eating ass out of here. Look, they wanted to kick it. See, they ain't want to tell you, because you know Africa is real nice and humble. They don't want to tell you, we will not tell his whole business. But all of the dogs and cats were leaving. We had my friend. He had 2 German Shepherds in Doberman. We have not found them since. And then he had a special on wings. That's what that China man was doing.
Yeah, well, see, they done messed up China. They got air pollution problems. They done messed up their water. That's why they're all over there in Africa. They done messed up things at home.
Yeah, radiation all in the water and all of that. You get an apple, it's probably glowing. And then you think about how much stuff that comes over here from China that they recall. Then you wonder why it's people 30 years old dying of cancer.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I love the video. Ramaphosa pretty much told Trump to mind your own goddamn business. You don't have nothing to do with what's going on here in South Africa. And he made it very clear we are moving forward with the land land expropriation. We're taking this land from these crackers. That's what he was pretty much telling Trump. Good for him. Good for him. I wish more of the African leaders would stand up for their people. But, just like Dr. Mumby said, she said the vast majority of them are coons. That's
right. That was beautiful, though. Get them out. We need to take their example, man. Look, you don't have to deal when these Asians come in your community and disrespect you. You get them the hell up out of there.
Yeah.
Man, your shit. And them Kenyans just showed, what was Uganda, Kenya, wherever, they just showed you how you need to deal with these folks.
Yeah. But you saw how they were fighting. They were doing something illegal, and you saw how they were still trying to fight those Ugandans. Don't have no respect for them at all.
Yeah, until they get to putting them knots on your head. That's what, oh, damn. I was about to say that's where Kamala from. My bad. That's how racist the WWE is. The only Ugandan I ever saw was actually from Alabama.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Mr. Parking Lot Rides with B1. Thank you. Y'all got some.
Good luck to Mr. Parking Lot.
Yeah. Y'all got some interesting names there.
That's my guy. See, some of these people came here. They spillovers. I know them from my channel. Mr. Parking Lot. He used to hurt his hand back in the day. That's why his name is Mr. Parking Lot. We just gonna keep that to ourselves.
Yeah. I watch Dr. Mumby. I really enjoy her videos. The Wake Up Africa. She really gets real. She tells you about Africa, man. She'll tell you.
Oh,
man.
Gotta check it out.
But yeah, that Chinese dude sitting up there saying, I hate Kenya. I hate Kenya. You stinky monkeys. And I was like, are you kidding? Do you realize you Chinese people are just like the white folks? Y'all got monkey DNA? What is it with them trying to call black folks monkeys and they're the ones sitting there with monkey DNA?
Exactly. I don't understand it. Really?
And it's always the people with flat butts like monkeys, thin lips like monkeys.
And babies born with tails.
Right.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Oh, what did y'all think about the Barbecue Becky recordings coming out, her 911 calls?
Hey, that was the funniest shit I ever heard. I never heard two police dispatchers like, bitch, if you don't get off my phone. The one white lady was like, so hold on, that barbecue? Why don't you just leave?
Yeah, but she was trying to pretend like they were holding her there and she could have left any time. I think they would have been glad if she left.
But that's why they didn't send the cops. And then remember where the lady said, well, where are you? Well, how am I supposed to send somebody if we don't know where you are? Hold on, so they're barbecuing? So why don't you just leave? She couldn't answer that question.
No.
No, she didn't. But I mean, just listening to her on the phone was just maddening. I was like, you know what? If I couldn't be a 911 dispatcher and take all them crazy ass phone calls like that, I couldn't do it.
Yeah. I'd be fired. Just fire me.
I mean, I'm sorry. I probably would have hung up on Barbecue Becky and lost my job that day.
But it was funny listening to her actually go at her and everything like that. But what was so funny is the fact that she actually stood out there for 2 hours waiting. Yes. She was that pressed for 2 hours waiting for the police to come, and she had called them back. She's like, excuse me, but I've been out here for 2 hours waiting for the police.
That just go to show you they really didn't want to come. That's
you sitting there waiting if you sitting waiting at a barbecue for 2 hours, you might well go and grab a wing and say, fuck that phone call.
But yeah.
Barbecue Becky, that's how you know you look. If you ain't know racism was stupid, you passed up some free chicken so you could try to get somebody in trouble. I don't look. If look, man, I'm gonna tell y'all know I can't stand a pack of wood. But if I see him over there grilling some chicken, I'm gonna say, put that on that longer, white man. That shit ain't done.
I know. But you know what? She stood there and she was just whining all over the phone. And she was like, and you can hear the other woman in the background, give me my card back. Give me my card back. And the dispatcher said, do you have something of hers? No. I was like, oh, this woman is really deranged. Woo.
And you notice that other lady kept trying to the other white lady kept trying to ask her race, and she said, "What?" And she said, "What does race got to do with it?" She didn't want to say it. She wanted to say, because I'm white too, and I know you're acting hysterical for nothing.
Yeah. But I mean, that's
what she wanted to say. She wanted to say, what is your race? She said, what does my race have to do with it? The white lady should have just said, cause we've been having a lot of us calling in on black people for no damn reason, and it's really wasting our damn time.
Mm-hmm. Well, she told her, she said, how are the police supposed to know who you are if you don't tell us what you look like, what race you are? And she just couldn't, you could tell something was wrong with that woman. She was so incoherent on the phone. You could tell something was wrong with her.
Hold up. Go ahead, Tony.
What was even more funny was when the lady had asked her, she said, are you in a mental facility?
Yeah, were you ever in John George? And she was like, what's that? A mental
facility. That was too funny.
You started saying, you was 5150, wasn't you, bitch? That's what you want to say.
That was hilarious.
It was.
Speaking of crazy ladies with something wrong with them, did y'all see something? Damn it. Did y'all see that video where Phil just put up about the white supremacists in Pittsburgh they called the black dude nigga, but then asked about his thick penis.
Yes, I saw that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I saw her.
Wow.
You know, when you look that unkept, you need to shut up. And didn't she try to call the black dude ugly? And did you see how scraggly she looked?
Yeah, she looked like a witch.
She looked completely unkept. Her hair was a mess. Everything. Oh, she just looked a wreck.
I was waiting for you to tell me which opioid made her look like that, because she's clearly on them.
Yeah, she was out of her mind. Trying to be a white supremacist in one instance, and then trying to talk sexually to him in another. I mean, I don't know who was supposed to be turned on by that.
Right. But that goes back to what Harvey say though. About white women always thinking a black man want them.
Yep. Yeah.
No,
that shows what she looks at when that shows you right there what she probably looks at whenever she turns her computer on and goes to Pornhub.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? For years, black guys have said, you know, when white women, you know, when they say what they want, they say tall, dark, and handsome. And what she said tall, dark, and a big dick.
Yep.
Yep.
So,
that's just what she said. That she said you're short and ugly, but I want somebody taller. I said, oh, okay. So that, like Dr. Wilson said, they always say, that's what, like you said, Lisa, that's what Dr. Wilson said, that their ideal mate is tall, dark, and handsome. You don't get darker than us.
Yep.
that is so true.
Yep. They know what they want.
And let me tell you something, y'all. When I was in the white people were so funny in corporate America, it wasn't even funny. It was this one white woman. She worked on the other side of the office, but she always came on our side. So anyway, she came in my office, and back then she was pregnant. And she was, you know, she was blonde haired, blue eyed. And I met her husband. Her husband worked only down the road, so he would always stop by the office, and he was blonde hair, blue eyed, right? So she gives birth, and she was like, oh, Lisa, I'm going to come in tomorrow. I'm going to bring my baby. I want you to see my baby. I said, okay. You know, it was no big deal to me, you know, but she wanted to bring her baby in for me to see. He brought this baby in, y'all. Now, what did they say about, wait a minute, what did they say about two blue-eyed people having a baby? The baby's going to have blue eyes, right?
Yeah, blue eyes, yeah.
Right. This baby had black hair and dark brown eyes. And I was like, isn't your husband blonde with blue eyes like you? I was like, where the hell that baby come from? Baby didn't look nothing like her husband, right?
Baby look like Elder Barge up there.
I said, oh, that ain't your husband's baby, right? So I'm just thinking this. I'm not saying it out loud, but I'm thinking it. I'm like, no, when two blue-eyed people have a baby, that baby's blue-eyed. That baby come out with brown eyes because both parents are recessive.
Right.
A brown eye is dominant. So where did these brown eyes come from? So one day she came in and she was all upset. And she came in my office, and I used to hate when her whiny ass came in my office, but she came in my office to whine to me. Her mother-in-law stopped talking to her. And she was like, she stopped talking to me. She won't even when she called on the phone, she just asked for my husband. She won't talk to me. And she was all upset about it. And I said, your mother-in-law ain't no damn fool. She done looked at that baby, and she knows something's up. She know that ain't her grandchild. Well, come to find out, we had a big company picnic. We worked a half day. I think it was leading up to Memorial Day. We had a company picnic. Her husband comes over with his best friend. I turn around. She was like, oh, I want you to, you know my husband. This is his best friend. Best friend had dark hair and dark eyes and looked just like the damn baby. I said, oh, you boinking your husband's best friend. That's where that baby came from. And it was so funny. The mother-in-law was trying to convince her son to take the baby for a DNA test. He said, just take the baby and just tell her you're just going to the store and go get a DNA test, because she knew that baby wasn't his. She was right. There was no trace of him in that baby. But do you see what they do to their own husbands? What white women do to their own damn husbands?
Oh, well, listen. You know, like I said, my job, Frances Cress Wilson told me that. She said, you got a PhD in white supremacy. Thanks to your job, you get to be in an intimate spot most black people aren't in. Mm-hmm. So I'm moving this white lady one day. Her husband is a colonel in the military. We all the way out Pennsylvania, like Altoona to be exact. So we out Altoona, and we moving her, and her neighbor keep coming over because she about to move. And the neighbor looked like he's sad to see her go. Out the break, she just come to me one day and said, LeVar, I love that man. When my husband isn't here, he takes care of all the plumbing and all. I said, yeah, I bet he do lay a lot of pipe out this motherfucker. Motherfuckers looked at me, started laughing like shit. I said, nah, I don't give a fuck what it is. If I'm gone out of town, ain't no man gonna come over next door talking about I'm gonna take care of your wife for you.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Mr. Parking Lot. Thank you again. Yeah, you know what? That is true. But you know what? One thing I can tell you, one thing I can tell you from working around a bunch of white women, they do a lot of cheating on their husbands. I mean,
yes, they do. A lot. And they talk about it so openly. Yeah. Like it ain't nothing. I had a white lady say the other day, she's like, yeah, when I was with Josh, I cheated on him, but now I'm single. I mean, I was so bad for that, but I cheated on him. And I was like, you wondering why you fat, ugly ass Becky, why you single at your age now? Because your ugly ass is cheating.
Yeah, they do a lot of cheating on their husbands. I worked with another one. She was married for 30 years, and she told me, I've always had a boyfriend on the side for 30 years. And she and the last guy broke up, and she said, oh, it really sucks not having a boyfriend. Like, what? Wow. I mean, they do a lot of cheating. I mean, and they think nothing of it. It's nothing to them.
No.
Look at all their TV shows. To be honest, every TV show they have is some type of adultery. Shit, they got an actual show that's basically based on adultery. They call The Affair.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they drug a black person in the shit with them. Is that Sanaa Lathan asking it? Sanaa, is that you buck dancing, baby? I know you listen. I know you listen to us. Baby, take off your tap shoes. This don't look right. We don't need another Olivia Pope.
Yeah, that. Wow. But that's messed up. But you know, you just reminded me. You see how all of the interracial swirlings and everything all over TV now, plastered every damn where.
The commercials, I was just talking about it the other day. I said, damn, look at this Geico commercial. This black lady don't even look like she would date this white guy, but they got him husband and wife.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. I saw that did not look, it didn't look natural at all.
No.
Thank you, Tony. The real dark-skinned girl with the blowout and this geeky-looking white guy. I was like, look, I know sometimes you'll get a sister that will date down, but they don't even look right together.
Yeah. You know, they are heavily promoting that. And you know what somebody had said, you know, we're at the end when they are throwing their women at black men. I say, yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. You know, especially, I think that's why they were so hurt when LeBron went out on Twitter and complimented black women. These white women had a meltdown. I think, just like you said, Taurean, they think they should have full access to every black man.
Exactly.
Right.
Because they actually had the nerve. Because, you know, like, whenever I see posts like that, I go on Instagram because a lot of times that's where I will see them first. And then you'll have one or a few white women leave this comment right here. If a black man says that black women are beautiful, here comes Becky and Susan and Heather.
Yes.
Then they'll come and say, did you mean to say all women are beautiful? No, he didn't mean to say that. He said what he said.
Right.
No, bitch, what he meant to say was black women are beautiful longer. You bitches ain't even cute longer than 12 days. You bitches age like bananas. Let me go ahead and say it. If you got a white woman over the age of 33, that's why white men is doing this swirling now. Because they really, hold on. Your wife's 65. My wife's 35. My wife looks 85. Your wife looks 35. This isn't fair. They looking at, you got old white guys jacking off the pictures of Jada Pinkett mom, and then they looking at their wife and she look like Barbara Bush out this motherfucker. Or what? John McCain.
Oh my God, you a mess. He's a mess.
Y'all know. Now everybody LVZ telling a lie. White women age like peaches. They age like peaches. Y'all know that's the truth. A little bit of heat get to them bitches get wilted and withered and dried up. That's why I be laughing at you niggas. I'm like, yeah, nigga, you hit it right now. But next year that bitch gonna look like the Brawny Powell, man. What's her name? Tommy Lauren? That bitch gonna look like the Crypt Keeper in 4 years. Watch. What happened to that Chelsea lately? Chelsea lately looks so bad. That bitch look like Mick Jagger. I said, look at Mick Jagger. They was like, nah, that's Chelsea Handler. I said, 50 Cent, you slept with that?
Oh man.
He went from Vivica Fox to that. Well, he probably
Vivica Fox is 40 years older than that woman. But you couldn't tell if you put them next to each other, you would get Social Security to Chelsea Handler, and you'll tell her, well, you got 20 more years till you retire.
Wow.
That's true. That is so true. But hey, you know, if these black people want Becky and Brad, they can have them. They can have them.
Okay, you keep messing with Brad. You keep messing with Brad, sisters, and then one day, look, you nigger bitch, just make me some chicken. You know you're gonna have to deal with that at least once a year.
Or you're gonna have him complaining about mail like Tamira Mowry's husband.
Oh man.
Oh man, mayo.
White fragility in the house and shit. Oh, you made mayo on my sandwich? That's racist. Man, you gonna sit your cracker ass down? That's what she should have said. That's how you know the black sister's the real black one. This bitch, my husband checked me about a mayonnaise sandwich. If that yogurt skin don't go somewhere and sit his cracker ass down, I smack the shit out both of y'all.
Woo, man, that's so crazy. All right, y'all. I am so glad we came together.
Absolutely.
Definitely got to do this again.
Yes.
You know it. I love being with my family again. Even though you two swept my ass under. Lisa, we gotta talk later because I gotta figure out how to get my channel back. Everybody keeps saying, we gotta get your old channel back. Is it a statute of limitation? I said, I don't think it is, because the government probably reading all the video. Oh no, we're not letting this nigga back. We know exactly what he's gonna do. Erase all of this chocolatey Negroes videos.
No, don't get yours back. You know,
we go back with him.
No, because I just helped another guy get his back, and his was gone for 5 months.
See?
Wow.
He got it back. He got all his videos back. He got his subscribers back. They don't erase it.
Good, because I need to see that video of my aunt, man. Shoot. That was my video I had before she passed, when I helped her get in the house when she thought she left her key. It was a lot of sentimental stuff on that channel, because I ain't know that guru in the internet was a bunch of white supremacist scum. So yeah, we got to talk about that because I got to get that back.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, before I go, I just want to, if I can say this real quick, y'all make sure I was going to try to post a link in the comment section about the petition I have about Cosby. If y'all can please sign it. We want to get as many signatures as possible.
Nicole, do I have you mod?
I don't think so. I'm not
Let
sure.
me mod you. If I mod you, you'll be able to put the link in.
Put link in.
Nicole,
Okay.
aren't you the one running that Cosby
Nicole,
is?
Nicole, just type something and then I'll mod you.
Yeah, I am. I'm behind that. And I'm actually supposed to do possibly some radio interviews with other folks that are helping us with the site with Gavin. I don't know if you guys saw Gavin Richard. He's a fellow attorney out of Louisiana. So we're trying to raise awareness and get folks to sign the petition. You don't even have to put your full name on it. Just put your name. You can initial, you could leave it blank. Just basically it'll ask what, they'll ask you for an address, but you can give them any address if you don't want to put your address. And it's just showing support and just we're basically wanting an investigation to occur. Is it? Who knows? But this is something we're trying to do.
Okay, you should be able to.
Oh, okay. Let me put the link in real quick. Let's see. Sorry, y'all. Let me get it real quick.
Well, while y'all wait, let me go and sing the song all y'all love. I love white women. Sorry. Sing the Ernest Thomas anthem. White women.
Now, LVZ, does your son have to go to school Thursday? Because I know here in New Jersey, thank you, Michael, Ben Israel. Do your son have to go to school? Because I know when Sandy was coming to New Jersey, they closed the schools.
I think they are going to close them because, look, listen to this shit. The day after the first day of school, my son got out because it was too hot outside. I said, hold the fuck up. Well, don't y'all got AC inside? Oh, it ain't working yet. I said, y'all would only do that in Prince George's County because it's black children. So, yeah, they should be okay.
Yeah.
They should be getting out.
Okay, now, each one of you get your channel link and post it in there. And make sure you all subscribe to Nicole's View, Taurean Rain.
Oh, and before, go ahead and shout out LVZ right quick because there's something I had to say to you.
Oh, okay.
But, we have to congratulate you, Lisa, for crossing 30,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look so they're like Jordan, baby. 33,000 points. You looking like Kobe out here, baby.
Congratulations.
Oh, 33 and counting on a peck of wood.
Yeah. Actually, I got my biggest bulk. Actually, I got my biggest bulk of subscribers when I first came back. I had gotten 7,900 subscribers when I first came back.
Because we was just so happy to see. Me personally, if they take your channel down, I never unsubscribe because I just be praying that what you did would actually happen. So when I saw it, I said, God damn, I finally won. You listened. And then I went to sleep after that because I was hoping he heard my next prayer that I wake up and all white people was gone, but no, they was here. I had to go to sleep.
Oh.
I'll try again tonight, though.
Yeah, if y'all get the link to your channels, and everybody, if you're not subscribed to Nicole's View, Peckerwood Punishment,
That's right,
and also Taurean Rain, we want to make sure you get subscribed.
Yes,
that's right. Peckerwood Punishment. You know why? Because the Lord had brought me here to punish them. And you might follow me at LVZ Coleon on Twitter, and you might see me in Donald Trump, Tucker Carlson's Twitter. People be, I'm about to say, Taurean and them be following me. They be retweet. I will go.
Because I be going in on them too.
Yeah.
Especially them coons. Like Jason Whitlock, I never miss a beat when it comes to him.
Yeah. Well, you know, Stephen A. Smith he snitched on me and blocked me because I was getting on his shape up.
Y'all ain't never lived until you got blocked by a coon on Twitter. I forgot who it was. It was a female coon. I got blocked by, I think it was like last year or 2 years ago. I was like, thank you. You noticed me.
Right. Yeah, Stephen A. Smith said, I gotta get this coon off of here. I gotta get this black man off of here. He's out here exposing my shape up.
I was laughing so hard when somebody called him shape up.
That's Stephen A. Shape up. But Nelly called him that. Mr. Jefferson? He said, what up, Mr. Jefferson? Yes, Mr. Pirate Brain. Me and Toya Rain. We are from the DMV. And you can hear the Southwest in my accent. Yes, I am.
I just don't understand what it is about Jason Whitlock and him wearing these small fedora hats. I know the lining of that hat is about to split any second.
That shit smell like hot sauce, piss, whiskey, and vinegar. That's what that motherfucker hat band stink like a motherfucker. He need to rub 8 million cartridges on his fat ass forehead. Don't he look like his chair stink? Don't sit in that chair. If you sit in Jason Whitlock chair, you might well take a shower.
Shoot, if you sit in his chair, you might stink.
Hey, you damn sure gonna smell like butt and Fritos. That's for damn sure. You smell like ass and Fritos in this chair. Oh, that's Jason's chair. Y'all should have told. Man, you gotta take a bath in tomato sauce.
It's not gonna be that hard to identify his chair because it's gonna look like a meteor came out of the sky and crash landed right there in the studio.
Nah, it's made out of coon bread, so it's nice and fluffy. It's like made out of pure coon bread.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, well, that's what you got to be on TV in America.
Yep. Basically.
Let them put any one of us on TV. They would pull the plug on us ASAP. They would like, get them off now.
They would be pulling the plug halfway through the broadcast on me.
Shoot, halfway through. Shoot. They would have submitted with me.
Y'all remember I got on TV up doing the Freddie Gray thing. I did get on TV and I said some real poignant shit. But the only thing is you only gonna hear it on the video that I put up because like they turned what I said into like 14. That's some bullshit. Yep, that's what he had to say, Bob. I know I said some more than that.
They had to edit you, huh?
Yeah, they said, let me interview this dude over here with no teeth. This nigga look like he know what he talking about.
Oh man, that was something. But I want y'all to be safe, especially, both of you, Taurean and LVZ, y'all both are in Maryland, so be safe.
Yes, man.
Definitely.
Once everything is over, just let us know that you're okay.
We definitely will. I'm gonna be broadcasting through the hurricane, walking around like them crazy white people. I say, "Damn it, Jim, it's raining out here, and the wind is so." I be playing.
I don't be getting about them too. Like whenever a hurricane comes and they have the people that's broadcasting, like at the beaches and stuff, you got that one or a couple of white people out there surfing. I'm like, well. Yeah. Let it take them away. Yeah, they want to be dumb. I mean, after all, they got the high IQ, so apparently they know something we don't.
During Sandy, Taurean, one white guy went outside. He decided he wanted to be out front when he came in and a tree fell right on top of him and killed him.
Bless the Most High. Bless the Most High. I was just praying that happened to one of them. I mean, did I say that out loud?
Yeah, I mean that.
You didn't. Mark Furman, we plead the fifth. You ain't do it.
I ain't do that. When Zimmerman got off, I didn't say that. He got off, so I didn't say. But yeah, I be dreaming that happened to him when they be out there. I'm like, why don't a tree or something just hit these motherfuckers?
Mm-hmm. I mean, they do crazy things during hurricanes. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, hurricanes. We got 8,000-mile-an-hour winds out here, Jim. And I'm right here in the eye of the storm. It looks pretty bad. You can't hear nothing. Wind blowing. This motherfucker, he leaning forward, trying to keep himself erect. And he holding this cheesy ass microphone, looking dumb. Man, you can't stand in a coffee shop and say, hey, it's wet out there, Jim. Let me be a motherfucker. I'm going to show you how to be a weatherman. I'll be standing, yeah, Jim, I'm right here in the McDonald's. I'm looking outside and look fucked up. It's wet. Dude over there getting wetter than a motherfucker. Need to get his dumb ass inside. That's how you supposed to do it.
Yeah. I mean, these people have lost their minds, but that's how they are. But y'all, I want to thank you. This was definitely fun.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you for inviting me.
I'm glad I was able to do this.
And maybe the next time one of y'all will host it, and I can come cut up and act crazy.
Well, you know I'm back. Well, you already know I'm back on my Sunday anti-NFL live streams. Kicked off week 1 this past Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm gonna start doing my shit on Sundays too. And furthermore, somebody much smarter than me gonna have to show me how to set this fucking hangout thing on my phone. Other than that, I'm just gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way. Call y'all, and we be talking like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Whatever works, right?
Exactly.
Hell yeah. But thank you for having me, love, and bless y'all family. Y'all go watch. And I'm about to roll up one. I love y'all, Lisa, Taurean, Nicole. Love you. Thank you. The one LVZ, you subscribe to Peckerwood Punishment, where we're smacking Peckerwoods across the head. Thank you. I love you.
And don't forget, LVZ, all praises to Sky Daddy.
All praises due to Sky Daddy, the one who bringeth the opioid to the whitest people.
Let there be opioids, and then
let it shower upon their heads. All for you and you, little Billy Bob and little Jay. You take all the Percocets you want. When you wake up, you'll see Sky Daddy. Oh.
Oh my God.
All right, and thank you everybody in the chat for coming. Y'all enjoy the rest of your night.
All right.
Good night, y'all.
Bye.
Peace out.
Peace.
Peace.